Hello and welcome to Sports Tonight on Channels Television. I am Tayo Salam. Unfortunately, we're going to be starting the show on a somber note. That's because Edson Arantes do Nascimento, popularly known as Pele, has died at the age of 82. Pele had been in and out of hospital in recent months after a tumor was found on his colon, and he had suffered from a series of health challenges in recent years. Pele scored a world record 1,281 goals and is the only player to win the World Cup 3 times. He's survived by 6 known children. Pele joined Santos at the age of 15 and turned a small coastal club into one of the most famous names in football. Fortunately, that's how we're going to be starting the show tonight. Pele, arguably the greatest of all time when it comes to football, is no more. Is passed on at the age of 82. May so rest in peace. I'm not alone on the show tonight. I've got Bolu Omoni. Bolu, good evening. And yeah, as you can see the way the mood is a bit somber. That's because of the breaking news that just happened a few minutes ago. Pele is no more. And it's one of those situations where it's kind of inevitable. You kind of expect it, but you're still not ready for it to actually happen. And it's unfortunate. That's how we're going to be starting off the show.
Well, on my way, I was thinking of different things to talk about. Like, okay, yeah, the program order is definitely going to be A, B, and C. Then just minutes before I got here, I knew it was going to change from ABC and something was going to come up, because it's hard to have a story ahead of the death of a legendary Pele.
No.
And the interesting thing is, Pele was not even his name. It was a mockery name, which he then adopted. Okay, well, since you're mocking me with this name, it will become something great for me. And a few days ago, we were still talking about Kathy Wilsworth, who died at 83, just a day before Christmas. Now Pele has joined. One thing, like you rightly said, it's inevitable to happen. Then when the daughter and everyone said he was saying their goodbyes yesterday, you knew it was almost going to happen. But sadly happens, but like you said, it's life. It was always going to happen. Everyone will die someday. We just pray everyone gets to at least an old age before we pass on.
Yeah, I mean, you've said a lot. 82, I mean, looks like a like a ripe age and all of that. But then this is Pele. We're not talking of no ordinary footballer here. Of course, we're all equal and all of that. But the kind of legendary status he was able to attain in his career during when he was playing and post professional football, it's just it transcends sports. And you can ask anyone on the road who's not a big football fan, who's just a casual, and they're probably going to know who Pele is. That's how much of an impact he's had on the game. I mean, you and I, we're still young bucks, in quotes, but we know a lot about Pele because of the everything he attained in the game. We've gone back to look at his old visuals and the incredible things he did on the pitch. I don't think we can overemphasize that. We've seen those pictures, of course, black and white, because it's been ages, Pele, since he was a professional footballer. But I'm going to ask you, what's your favorite memory of Pele? I mean, of course, you didn't watch him live, but then you've seen visuals, you've seen footage of when he was a footballer. Did you see anything that blew your mind?
First of the likes of Cafu, Carlos, Ronaldo, Lima have 2 World Cup titles, and it's great that these guys have 2. You don't see players boasting of 2 World Cup titles. They boast about it every time.
Even 1.
Then there's a certain Pele who has 3.
Yeah.
And when people talk of this generation, talk about it, it's not this, it's not that. I tell them something, that Pele wasn't the only one that played in his generation. There were lots of great players. How come he's the only one everyone talk about? It just shows how good he was. Then I saw about 2 documentaries about Pele.
Yeah.
There's nothing you say. I tell people that say Pele is not great. I say your children will say Ronaldo and Pele are not great. I saw a video recently. Everything all the players we call great have done. Ronaldinho, Zidane, Ronaldo, Messi, all the skills they are doing.
Yeah.
That they think, oh, I brought up this thing. Pele did everything. So they'll show the ones we know first. The Ronaldo slicing the ball, then go to Pele.
The ones we grew up
Zidane's
watching.
360, exactly. Yeah. Go to Pele. So there's nothing new. I saw Neymar's quote, and that probably wrapped everything up.
Right.
Before Pele, there was nothing really special about number 10. Before Pele, football was a good sport growing. But when Pele came to the scene, he brought back the magic. Remember, before Pele joining the Brazil national, they cancelled out their style that we don't want to see this thing again, this samba style, we don't want it anymore. Pele brought it back, and now if you are not samba, if there's no samba in the Brazilian generation, they are not good enough.
Yeah, you've got to be samba,
you
right?
Must.
All thanks to Edson Arantes do Nascimento, popularly known as Pele. We are now being joined by Austin Okonakmanda right there in London. Austin, good evening. Not the way we wanted to start off the show, but it is what it is, Austin.
It is what it is. Tayo, sporty greetings to you and our viewers joining us from different parts of the world. What a story. Rest in peace, Pele. I feel so blessed and honored with my journalism career, because one of the things I had on my bucket list was to see Pele before he dies or before I leave the world. And in 2014, when I was in Brazil, I visited the football museum. And outside, there was so much noise and people were running towards the vehicle. And I'm a newsman. I said, I must find out what's going on. It was Pele who was coming to the football museum. And though I didn't get to take a picture with him, just seeing that football icon, you know, Tayo, I felt fulfilled, because I've read so much about Pele. Sadly, I wasn't born in the generation when he was playing football. You and Bolu weren't even close to existence at the time. But everything we read about Pele is just so fantastic. Tell me, who gets called up to the Brazilian national team at 15? At 15, he got called up. Started debut goal. Who wins a World Cup trophy at 17? That's how much grace Pele had. And just before I came on the show, I was doing a lot of research and reading about Pele, and I love the way Phil McCartney of the BBC described him. He said Pele's greatness can be measured by the simple fact that he could make football a spectacle of natural grace and beauty when he missed as much as when he scored. If he's not scoring, you're loving him. It just reminds us of our own JJ Okocha when he misses a chance and JJ is smiling, and you know, and you're wondering, you just missed a chance, you know. That's who Pele was. When he's not scoring, you're loving him. When he scores, you're loving him some more. This guy, what can we say about him with everything he did with football, particularly for Brazil? When he stopped playing, it became even more of an icon, using football to transform lives. From the United Nations, UNICEF, FIFA, CAF, CONCACAF, he was everywhere using his personality to make sure that we all feel the power of football. He scored 1,281 goals in 1,363 games and helped Brazil to win the World Cup in 1958, 1962, and 1970. Rest in peace, legend.
Peace to the GOATs, indeed, undisputed. I know kids of these days, they've got the recency bias going on. And I mean, it's understandable to look at the likes of Messi, Ronaldo, Zidane, and all of that. But I don't think there's any doubt that Pele is unarguably the greatest player of all time. Everyone's going to have the different opinions on that. We're going to take a pause now. We're going to take a look at this report on the life and times of Pele on and off the pitch.
More than 2 years since the passing of Diego Maradona, the football world mourns the death of another legend, Pele. Known as Edson Arantes do Nascimento, Pele began playing for Santos at the age of 15 and the Brazilian national team at 16. During his international career, Pele won 3 FIFA World Cups in 1958, 1962 and 1970, becoming the only player to achieve such feat. Pele is the all-time leading goal scorer for Brazil with 77 goals in 92 games. At club level, he is Santos' all-time top goal scorer with 643 goals in 659 games. In 1999, he was named Athlete of the Century by the International Olympic Committee and was included in the Time list of the 100 most important people of the 20th century. In the year 2000, Pele was voted World Player of the Century by the International Federation of Football History and Statistics and was one of the 2 joint winners of the FIFA Player of the Century. Since retiring in 1977, Pele has been a worldwide ambassador for football. As the curtain draws down on the life of Pele, the legacies and memories of the football legend lives in the hearts of millions of fans around the world.
Peace to the GOAT, 3-time World Cup winner, Brazil's all-time top scorer with 77. Although that record was equaled by Neymar at the just concluded World Cup, this guy, there's no doubt about it, Pele transcended the world of football, and that's why any casual out there would definitely have a thing or two to say about Edson Arantes de Nascimento.
Well, that De Nascimento sound like one of the things that made him unique. You remember? Okay, not remember. You know, his father actually played football but couldn't go further due to injury. Yeah. Then they pushed him so hard at some point, training with mangoes. Who trains with mangoes? Okay, so I like that you brought that up. That pretty much sums up the kind of life he had as a kid. Grew from the slums.
Yes, from the slums, straight from poverty. He's risen through the slums, through the favelas, to become the most famous.
FIFA named him the player of the century for 20 years. It speaks a lot. Yeah. Like I said, he wasn't the only one that played then. There were lots and hundreds of thousands, but the fact that it was unique amongst all of them speaks a lot. Like you and Austin Riley said, he started as a teenager, not a 19-year-old teenager. 15-year-old teenager, grew step by step, and now he's there that people are still talking about him. It just shows how great Pele was. We may not get someone of that status anymore.
Yeah, look at the longevity. I mean, 70-year career pretty much for Pele, both as a player and as a sports ambassador. And it just shows you the kind of his achievements as a footballer and even as a person as well, as an ambassador of our sport in general. And we're all going to miss him. There's no doubt about it. Diego Armando Maradona is no more. Now Pele is no more as well. These 2 guys, they top the list of a lot of football fans as, arguably the greatest players of all time. Austin, let me come over to you again. What more do you want to say about Pele you haven't said already?
There's just so much, how much can you say about this football legend whose life, embodies so much? If you want to talk about his footballing career, you will be even putting him on the same level with most of these guys that people are even talking about today. And his personality was just something about Pele and the love he commands, whenever he comes out or he's at an event, get people, come out, show him so much love. And it's just about kind of person that he is. I remember again in 2014, just looking at him from a distance, how kids were running to him. Someone described him as the future of Brazilian football. And I'm like, this guy has played football so many years. And that the guy said, look, in Brazil, that's our mini god of football. And so, Tayo, if you want to get into the football museum in Sao Paulo, there's a big, huge, massive door. The moment you push it open, you see Pele in all of his grace and glory saying, welcome. It's a legend all through and through. And I was so blessed seeing the jersey that he wore to win the first World Cup, seeing the jersey that he wore to play for Santos and dominated so much, And as the world celebrates this football legend today, I want us to look on the good side, particularly Africa, Nigeria. Like, what are we doing for our living legends, How can we make them, loved and adored and let the world know them for the good things that they did through sports, So, and that was why Pele was able to, still add some relevance outside playing football. He became a global ambassador because first thing first, Brazil ensured that if you were talking football all over the world at the time Pele was playing, you need to show respect to Pele. I was speaking to a former footballer, from the Green Eagles in 1980. And he said back in the day, it was such disrespect. In fact, almost a crime to compare Pele with another footballer.
Any player.
You know what I'm saying? Like that was Pele. Some people that watched Pele play see all these greatest of all time was shouting Cristiano Ronaldo and Messi, and some people are putting Mbappe now. I said that's after you call Pele and Maradona. You know, and it's not about, you know, a generational thing. But for me, what I love about this guy is the grace, the commands, the love, his personality, and he loved Africa. You know, maybe that's why I love him some more. You know, remember South Africa hosting the 2010 World Cup. Pele really wanted that World Cup to come to Africa. And I think he even predicted at some point that an African country will win it. Yeah, we'll win. You know, so this is definitely a celebration of life. We're definitely going to miss him, but we'll remember him for the good things he did for football and through football. And for Africa and Nigeria, let's reflect on our living legends. What can we do for them so that when they're not here anymore, we can beat our chest and be proud to say that the labors of our heroes past were not in vain time.
Yeah, you're spot on, Austin. It's a sad situation, but I think Bolu and everyone else out there will agree that it's going to be a celebration of life at the end of the day, and we're all going to be celebrating this great, absolute great man, and we shouldn't really lick a wound for too long because he's made his mark very well and has gone down as an absolute legend.
I think the morning is just because it's new, it's fresh, it's just happening. After a few hours, even in family, living with it is not that you forget you lost your father, uncle, grandfather, but the fact that you know he made impact. If you go anywhere, the family go anywhere, I am Pele's son, I am Pele's daughter, grandchild, it could definitely open doors for you. And I think what Austin said should maybe speak volume to us here in Nigeria. I remember when Chukwueze said he doesn't know who Segun Odegbami is. Many criticize him as much as you can. There is nowhere for him to check, no archive, no museum, nothing. So I think we should pick every positive from the story. Yeah. Pele is gone, people are talking about him. There are clips of Pele till today. They're going to be
talking about him in 20
It's difficult to see clips of Nigerian legend. So let's pick all the positive about this story, and hopefully we also live and learn from it. Like everyone has said, it's definitely a celebration of life. By tomorrow morning, people will start reflecting on the great things Pele has achieved. Yeah.
So let's get on with the show and come to Nigeria and talk about the Nigerian Professional Football League. The 2023 league, a bridge version of the league, is going to be starting on January the 8th. And we're all excited because it seems that we've been starved of football for a while now. I mean, the off-season has been going on forever. Pre-season has been going on forever, but it looks like we're going to get to see action finally starting on January the 8th. I don't think all of the side shows, the drama from the club chairman, I don't think it's going to affect the start of this competition because, you know, these clubs are owned by the government, about 90% owned by the government. So I don't think, I think the league will start. Anyways, are you excited for the 2023 season?
I'm supposed to be excited about all the off-the-field drama. We've had months to prep, and now we are still back here. But one thing I think I'll fault the IMC for was the fact that they threw the door open to the club chairman or club chairman. They are not owners of any club. That how do you want us? Because it's like Infantino and FIFA's telling countries, how do you want us to plan? When they came with 48, they just told us they're going to 48. When CAF came with 24, even when qualifiers, they just told us. So I thought IMC could have told them, this is what we want. But at least I like that they later stood their ground. This is how we want it to run. The league is coming, and if you are not participating, in Scotland, there are just 12 clubs, and the league has been running for decades. So if you can have a few clubs participate in this thing, we just want, I think if these guys think about the players, if they care about the coaches, and even the fans, they won't want to boycott or cause many chaos.
I don't think we're going to see a boycott for the reason I just said before you started to talk, because I think
just the governor.
Yeah, they'll tell you what to do. They'll get on there and go play this game. I think that's what it's going to. That's how it's going to pan out. Eventually, talking points from the 2022-2023 NPFL Bridge version. The draw was done yesterday in Abuja, and in case you somehow missed all of this detail, we're going to bring them to you again. The new season is expected to kick off on January the 8th. Expected because of the issues that are still surrounding it. Super 6 will decide the winner, and the top three teams from each group, that's Group A and B, would face off to decide the winner of the league. The winners of the league will also go home with 100 million naira. Sounds like a lot, but it's not really a lot in the grand scheme of things. Every club as well will get 10 million naira before the league commences as like a takeoff grant for all 20 teams featuring in the 2023 NPFL season, the abridged version. Referee bonuses, this is very important. Referee bonuses and salaries will be paid directly into the account by the sponsors. The sponsors yet to be unveiled. Clubs that engage in violent conduct, will be deducted 3 points as punishment. That sounds like very, very, very punitive. You might think it's high time we get really, really serious with football hooliganism in Nigeria. Also, the NPFL will be live on TV, but would be produced by HD streaming company. That's fantastic news as well, too, because we can't really go to the next level when it comes to the league if it's not shown on TV. The fans got to get the opportunity to actually watch these players, get to know these players, and follow the action from time to time. All right, so there you go. Austin is still with us, and we're going to be joined by another guest as well, too. That's Mike, who's a big football and a somebody who follows the league very much in Nigeria. Is going to be joining us as well, to Mike Osare and Austin. Yeah. You've got a smile on your face, and I was saying,
I should smile. I should be smiling, Tayo, with those things you just talked about and that the viewers saw.
Yeah.
It's like good things coming to league football in Nigeria, but I know what I know. Some of the chairmen are still frowning. Some are murmuring, bring league and all of that, So. I know some people won't find this 10 million as anything because most of the clubs, sponsored by state government. But for the man who is putting every naira and kobo is struggling for into the Nigeria Professional Football League, and someone is willing to give him 10 million at the end of the season, that person will definitely, be getting some relief. A bridge season or not, we're journalists. We just talk about what is happening. But we just want to see our football, come alive again and let the right things be done. Club licensing, make sure that people have proper financial standing to come into the league, ensure that officiating is top-notch. And here now that they've made the referees, remember the other day on the show, the IMC chairman, Benga Elegbele, told us that the referees haven't been paid for so many years, and that right there, you're touching transparency. So these are good things, Tayo, but there are a lot of buts, and I'm sure before the start of this league on January the 8th, more people will come out to talk. Yeah. But I know that you can take it as progress. We've done the draw. We have a date for commencing the league, the new season. And then players can start looking forward to being busy again. Progress.
Yeah, you've mentioned the important actors, the players who haven't played football for months now after training and training and training. I mean, it's only so how far or how long you can train without actually playing the game. So I'm very, very chuffed for the players that they will get the opportunity to start playing again starting from January the 8th. I talked about another guest who's going to be joining us as well, too. He's ready. Mike, he's his name, Mike Osareme. Okay, before Mike joins us, okay, Mike Osareme is the guest who's going to be joining us on the program. Mike, good evening. How are you doing tonight?
Yeah, good evening. It's a pleasure to be here. Good evening. Can you hear me?
Carry on, yes.
Speaking of the NPFL for the 2022-2023 season, I'm particularly delighted with the fact that the league is finally coming to place because for 5 months now we've failed to have league football in the country, and Sport Science will tell you that it only requires 6 weeks to have a pre-season. But in Nigeria, we've gone 5 months. Clubs, players, coaches have tried to teach, have tried to roll out their tactics for their boys for close to 5 months now. And finally, in an abridged version, we would be having the NPFL from January 8th. Like Okun said, he said he expects more dramas to come up before January 8th. The drama is coming. What's it with the NPFL with that drama, by the way? We want to, or we really not good enough. We want to start the league with less stress and all of that. But the drama with the IMC, the coming to being of the IMC in the first place, and also the club owners, the club chairman, I call them because media are not club owners, and the players also trying not to play in the abridged version of the league. 16 teams have shown interest. 4 are yet to show interest in the abridged version. So it means that for now we can confirm 16 teams. But I want to believe that before the 8th of January, we would definitely have all of the 20 clubs that are coming in. And one of the reports we understand is that if these clubs that fail to come in, there could be Abuja, there could be Sporting Lagos, there could be Kano Villas coming into the NPFL. If that is going to be correct, that needs to be seen. But I do not see this club leaving at the NPFL because what will the club chairman tell their state government, their state governors, and the fact that they are withdrawing because they want to play a full season? And in one of the design templates showed by the club chairman, they had a full season of that would end in July. And when you carefully check the design, it was about many midweek games in there. And one thing we would put in question is the health of our players. Our players really cannot go through that stress of playing some midweek games and all of that. So maybe, according to the IMC with the NFF, maybe the abridged version of them is where we are at this present point. The last time we had the abridged version was in 2019. Yimba were prime champions after in Lagos to win their 8th title, a record 8th title in the land.
I can imagine you're as excited as the players, as a football commentator, as an NPFL commentator. You're excited to have the league back from January the 8th. Hang in there, Mike. I'll be coming back to you later on the show. But before then, the IMC chairman, Benga Elegbeleye, has been speaking on improving the welfare of players in the league. Let's take a listen to it.
In subsequent leagues, it will increase from 100 million to, it will not be 100 million in the next season. Even if IMC is not there, we have made arrangements with our corporate partners, that's the GTIS/TNFF. If in the coming league, if this season is 100 million, please write it down. The next week league season will be more than 100 million. Those who are, we should see football as a commercial entity. Football is not corporate social responsibility that government will just be doing to placate the public and promise election for election campaign. Football is big business. So what we want is let there be enough money in the league so that clubs can compete for money. The more they have, the more they increase the salaries of them. Our target is better playing environment for footballers, better welfare packages for footballers. We want a situation whereby in the next 2-3 seasons, the least paid footballer in Nigeria will be only 1 million naira. And if that happens, Nigerian footballers will not be going to countries where they are fighting war just to go and play football to earn more money. You see, some African countries are paying $5,000 a month, and you see our footballers running there. You cannot blame them. Their families are taking care of. Nobody will now be playing and be getting 100,000 naira and 150,000 naira in a month. Can that help his family? Can that even help him as a young man to take care of his needs? So what we feel, clubs should have more money, but they must fight for the money.
As IMC Chairman Benga Elegbeleye talking about plans to improve the welfare of players, especially in terms of their salaries. Imagine a Nigerian professional football league player earning 1 million naira a month. I want to believe they won't be running to a lot of these obscure countries to play football. 1 million naira a month sounds very decent. If we can get to that level
It's huge, and one of the challenges we had, the last time we spoke about the salary, was talking about some players earning about 100,000 naira per month,
Yeah.
and even that 100, 150 is
It
not even
doesn't.
sure. You don't know when you get it. I listened to a player some years ago
Yeah.
who went to, like you said, an obscure league to earn less than what he was earning in Nigeria, and it was asked why. I said they don't owe him. So everything was. So I just hope all these things are not just words we want to hear, because we don't know details about these things. We criticized Amadou Pinnick when he had the Nike deal. Everyone criticized Ibrahim Gusso for AFN when he had the Puma deal. We want to know who. He's been talking about three major sponsors.
Yeah,
who are they?
Yeah.
What are the numbers? If you are giving 10, 20 clubs 10 million, that's about 200 million for starters. League winners getting 100 million, that's 300 at least. Then the referees getting paid directly by sponsors. Who are these guys that are paying the referee? At least we know who bankrolled the Super 4 they played before.
Yeah.
We know how much they got. We know how much the ISO score and all those things. So we need to know terms, because when the league starts, hopefully the league starts on the 8th of January, people will start speculating, and then I hope we don't have problems. The Premier League now have the schedule for next season. I hope when the league starts, we won't just go and sleep like, okay, we've done. No. The reason for the abridged version is to align with the regular league calendar of what we have in Europe. So hopefully, let's start the league on the 8th of January. I really hope the league starts, no matter what's happening, no matter the problem. I just want this. We want to start. I want to start going to venues at least in Lagos to watch games. So hopefully, all the dramas they are giving themselves will not affect the set day to start the league.
Yeah, you're spot on. Let's put the dramas or the drama in the back burner. Let's focus on football on the pitch. Austin, to get to the level of winning. I mean, players earning 1 million naira monthly. Surely the league has got to be viable commercially.
It is. Yeah, it should be, and that's what the IMC chairman has been saying, not just the IMC chairman. When Mr. Sunday Dare became the minister of youth development, session is gaining some grounds. I'm glad that it's having some awareness. It's a lot of work, particularly with this state's own clubs and the administrators. They need to start thinking about business. Don't see it as CSR. Don't see it as a means to just get money out of government. Countries are using football to empower the youth system. They're using business. They're using football to take people out of poverty. They're using football to empower lives, to create, job opportunities. That's how we should be thinking. And in no time, 1 million, 2 million will be nothing. We'll have Nigerians stay back home to play football if it's profitable, And let me bring in Mike into the conversation. Mike, I love the things we're talking about football now. Do you see hope, or this is just same old, same talks before the start of every new season? Oh, you need to unmute, Mike.
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you. Okay.
Yeah, honestly, I think it's still the same old NPFL because it's like a quick fix in the sense of it. Because if you carefully look at it, the IMC came into being and it was the interim committee for 3 months. After that, the next press conference, inside 3 months, they were unable to organize it. They were inaugurated in October, November, December, January. So by January, they would exit as the organizer of the NPFL. And the chairman, Elegbe, said that they are only going to be around for a full season and not longer at the 3 months. So what happens after the full season? Let's hope, do not let us apprehend the IMC. Let's hope that the 2022-2023 season would be a successful season. So what would happen after that particular season? Are we going to have a new LMC? Are we going to have a new name for the organizers of NPFL in the country? So it begs for a whole lot of questions. For me, it's still a quick thing. I like what the guest in the studio said. He mentioned the fact that the IMC are not even talking about who the sponsors are. Let's talk about the sponsors. For the sake of we media, what is the means of communication of the IMC? There is no singular means. They're not using the LMC Twitter handle, the social media handle of the LMC. I think they have a new handle earlier this morning. So, on the long run, it's like a quick fix for me. It's just still hope. Maybe, and that maybe is when our league football would tilt away from ownership being government-owned, the clubs now. Maybe if we have those 85% of clubs that being owned by private investors, then we can try to move away from all of these issues with the LMC. At this stage, the IMC are even making it seem like the LMC were the best we've ever had in the country, because they are somehow trying to hit a new low. So in fact, they've not even have a first match day. It's still on the January the 8th of January. So I honestly want to believe that there's still hope for Nigerian football, but it does not feel like there's hope inside 2 years, inside 3 years, because don't be mistaken that by May might just come back to this same section with back to square one possibly, because we're still not doing right. The ends do not look that does not look like a particular body that wants to help Nigerians. But just a quick list of some individuals trying to help. Don't let me say that, but trying to help the league. But then, if we fail to build an institution, a sustainable one as of that, then we'll come back to this kind of scenario which we can have now.
Let's just hope, let's keep the hopes alive and,
Yeah,
be optimistic that the right things will be done for league football in Nigeria. Thank you so much, Mike, for your time and compliments of the season to you. Okay, that's it. I don't know who's going to take it, Tayo or Bolu.
Right here, Austin. Right here. Let's get on with the show now. Let's go from the Nigerian Professional Football League. Let's go to the EPL, where there's going to be games tomorrow. Of course, Liverpool is still trying to close the gap on the top four. They will be in action against Leicester City. Promises to be a very, very interesting game indeed. And talking about Liverpool, they've already made a signing, even though the transfer window is not open. I'm talking about Cody Gakpo, the Dutch international, has signed for Liverpool for a fee between £35 million to £45 million. This guy is a great prospect. If you watch the World Cup, you would understand what I mean. His stats are very impressive as well, too. 9 goals, first in Eredivisie, 12 assists, first in Eredivisie, shots 51, first in Eredivisie, chances created 59, first in Eredivisie. I can go on and on and on. Take-ons as well, too, completed second in the Dutch league. It tells you Liverpool have got a fantastic prospects on their hands.
I think they do. It just shows you don't. You remember the phrase of possession without penetration is useless.
Yeah,
that's what United were doing also with one team. Okay, do we want? We've got Antonio and everything, but Liverpool went once and got the man and gave him the jersey number of a former Dutch legend as well. That card. I think they have a huge player. Where the headache will now be for Klopp will be when all his players get back, the likes of Luis Diaz, Firmino himself. But that's the beauty of the game. The more, the merrier, like they say. So I think it's a brilliant, brilliant addition to the Reds.
Indeed, indeed. You have to say, I was talking about Cody Gakpo's starts earlier on. There you have it on the screen as well, too. What a player, what a season he's having in the Netherlands. Of course, he's going to be playing his trade right now in the English Premier League. It remains to be seen if he will actually hit the ground running, but there's no doubt about his talent at all, and these stats say it's all. And apart from the stats as well, too, I've watched him a few times, especially at the World Cup. I think he passed the high test as well, too. The goals he scored, header, left foot, right foot. What a player. I think Liverpool are going to be just fine this season, but might just need some time to still bed in. Jurgen Klopp has been speaking about his latest signing. We're going to listen to him now. When we come back, we'll be wrapping up the show.
The answer is pretty easy. It's obvious because he's a really, really, really good player. So the package is really interesting. The edge is in the potentially shows or has and the quality he showed already in Holland and with the national team as well. So it makes him a really, really interesting player. And that's why we were very interested to get him in, and I'm really happy that we could do it. So big for us, really big for him as well. So it's cool. He's obviously delighted about joining us, and everything will be good. So great day. Let me say it like this. He's a young player with a lot of potential. If he would have been already in a different position, so like scoring 40 goals and not in Holland but in Spain or whatever, unaffordable. So it's in these kind of things, it's all about timing. getting these boys in the right moment, that they didn't already score 55 goals per season, stuff like this. So it's really, and that's why we were really convinced we could follow. So he always made a step. He always made the next step, and that makes it so interesting. And we believe in our process. Obviously, when players here come here, or especially offensive players, they actually all made a step forward. And because the way we work and the way we can help them, and that makes it massively interesting.
Speaking right there on Cody Gakpo. Austin, your final cross from London. This guy is built like a striker, can play on the wings as well, so it shows you how versatile he is.
Complete, you know, and at just 23, showing and, you know, exhibiting everything that a complete striker should have. And Jurgen Klopp, you know, summed it up properly, that he's young with a lot of potential. Let's see what Liverpool can do with this, you know, striker. That's the show in London. I'm Austin Okonapan. We send love and everything good to the families of Pele. Rest in power, legend.
All right, Austin, thank you. Catch you again tomorrow. Bolu, want to thank you for your time as well. It's been, you know, good show.
Yeah, good to see you again. And see you next year. Compliments of the season.
Compliments of the season. Thank you all for watching as well. Enjoy the rest of your night. I am Tayo Salam.